Metrolinx is the bureaucratic monstrosity Ontario's Liberal government created in 2006 to take over GO Transit and build its Toronto transportation empire from there. The merger, quote-unquote, happened in 2009. Something else happened in 2009, Metrolinx's current, most spectacular nuclear dumpster fire, the Eglinton Crosstown LRT line, officially known as TTC Line 5. Construction started in 2011, with planning starting about 2 years earlier, in 2009. Scheduled to be completed in 2020, it is 5 years and counting overdue. The original budget in 2011 was 6.3 billion Canadian dollars, which at the time just happened to approximate 6.3 billion United States dollars. Now, it is twice over budget. The best way I can think of putting it is this. A child born when this turkey got started is now just about ready to start driving. The Toronto Transit Commission, for whom the Eglinton Crosstown was being built, and to whom it was to be handed over, had speculated, or at least allowed speculation to happen unchallenged, that the line would finally open this coming September 2025. Now, here is the latest delay. The rail cars built for this line were delivered to Metrolinx 10 years ago. The TTC is now describing those cars, which have not run outside of testing, and which have not carried a single passenger, as aging. Here are a pair of reports from the CBC, Canada's state broadcaster, and from City TV, a local Toronto television station, talking about the latest challenges and accompanying demands for more money. This is The Bad Civil Servant on YouTube and North American House Hippo on Rumble. The only channels that don't make you like and subscribe if you don't want to.
Yes, major milestones have been met in respect of the progress on Eglinton Crosstown, to name a few. All civil infrastructure for the project is complete. When I last saw all of you in April, I talked about operator-driver training resuming on the 17th of March. That happened, and it is complete. All the drivers for the TTC are now trained for this project, and I would want to salute the partnership that we have with the Toronto Transit Corporation in many ways to advance this project. As the Minister just said, about a week ago, we moved control of the line from the backup operations command center to the TTC's command center at Hillcrest, which means as of today or tomorrow, movement of trains on the line is actually governed by the TTC as it will be when the line's in revenue service. I would also note that we are relentlessly stress testing both system and vehicles. And this really is the phase of the project that we're in right now. We're doing the things for this line that, frankly, were not done for projects like the Ottawa LRT, demonstrating to ourselves collectively that it's going to perform the way that we want it to on the day that it opens. So if you're out on the Eglinton Crosstown alignment today, you will see as many as 28 trains, the full complement, moving on the line to test how the vehicles are performing, what's their maintenance profile, what systems upgrades ultimately have to happen. That's going pretty well. When the system achieves a certain amount of stability, we'll take 2 steps. We'll do formal trial running for a period of 14 days, and then we will have a 30-day revenue service demonstration, where we will literally run the system as it will run when it is open to the public with no passengers on it, just to satisfy ourselves that it performs the way that it needs to. Once that's done, we've added a further measure, which comes directly from the report on the Ottawa LRT, to have a bedding in period, post-substantial completion of the project, to continue with this testing, to make sure that when it opens, it will be safe and it will be reliable. If everything goes according to plan and real progress is being made, that's why we have a September fall date for the Eglinton Crosstown. But I want to stress that we cannot open that system if it is not going to perform, because hundreds of thousands of people will rely upon it. The trend line is good, but it is always subject to revision depending on what we find through systems testing.
Premier, can I just get your reaction to that? It seems pretty significant that the TTC is taking control. What's your message to Ontarians who have waited like 14 years for this to open?
Well, first of all, I'm fortunate to have Michael. You can see this guy is brilliant. He's a champion. He's going to push the system, but
only top-of-the-line models can even talk.
But I agree with him. That's not going to open up unless it's 100% safe. Safety is a number one priority, but you can tell he's fully in charge and he's going to get it done. I want to thank the TTC too. They've been great partners, and it's going to be up to them to make it happen. Let's get it done. This has been way too long. It was a mess for years, but we inherited a mess. Now it's gonna come to fruition, but we're doing a tremendous amount of work right across the city, building the largest subway expansion in North America.
This is CBC.
As planned and as expected, we're in the middle of serious trial running of the system right now. Every day, well before 6 a.m., our partners at the TTC turn up to drive these vehicles and put them through their paces until 2 in the morning. And as at late July, TTC personnel are also now showing up at Eglinton stations to put the non-rolling stock infrastructure through its paces too. Escalators, elevators, HVAC systems, etc. What we are finding out from this deliberate period of stress testing is that one of the issues to address collectively is vehicle availability and reliability. These vehicles are 10 years old. They're only just now beginning to run the kilometers that were intended for revenue service. And as we do that, we find out what their maintenance profile is. We get a better picture of how to keep them in service so that we can build the availability of vehicles to a level that can meet peak capacity. We're hoping that we're a few weeks away from being able to say that we've got that kind of availability and reliability. We will then trigger the revenue service demonstration test that I mentioned last time, 30 days of running at revenue service in order to demonstrate that this system is safe and reliable when it opens. If that works, then we will declare substantial completion of the project towards the end of September, and then we will work with both the Government of Ontario and the TTC to think about progressive ramp-up of service on Eglinton, itself a recommendation from Justice Horrigan's Ottawa LRT inquiry report. So I just want to conclude by saying we are 100% doing this in partnership with the TTC. My personal thanks and that of my organization to Mandeep and his team. Each and every morning, starting, as I say, sort of at 6 a.m., I can promise you that both CEOs of both organizations are thinking about the plan for the day, what it's going to reveal, and what it means that we do tomorrow.
So September's not off the table for a public opening?
Sir, as I told you last time, everything is dependent upon safety and reliability. I am happy that we are discovering right now the things that have to be fixed before we open this line, as opposed to discovering them when the line is open. Every problem that we find today and correct in partnership with the TTC is one that will not present itself when people are riding this. It is not off the table, sir, but as I told you last time, it's always subject to making sure that the system is safe and reliable when we open.
Did you mean for all those words to come out together, or did they just fall out randomly?
Maybe he's just an asshole.